Last episode, the E12 was experiencing overheating. It is still experiencing overheating because we haven't quite figured it out yet, and we wanted to make sure that we caught it on camera in case we did. So we assembled everything and it's been running. I've been turning it over. It's been running just fine with, I mean, granted, old ignition parts. It runs. The problem here is that it's overheating. So we bypassed the heater core. The inlet and the outlet, we disconnected and put a plastic coupler, just temporary. Want to make sure it wasn't the heater core causing the problem. It's still overheated. So the point we're at now is that this half of the engine, because the thermostat is here, this is brand new, so I'm gonna rule it out for now. We definitely shouldn't rule it out completely because new parts fail too. They are defective sometimes. But what we don't know is how healthy the fan clutch is or the water pump. There have been cases where water pumps fail because the impellers fall off or the impellers are disintegrated. It's just not moving enough coolant throughout the system, and we suspect that something like that is happening, or even the channel that the water pump is feeding is clogged, or rust from not using coolant and instead just using tap water. In this case, we do have tap water in the system just to get things flushed and going. Once we figure out the problem, we will be putting the proper coolant in there. Let's get moving, let's get into it, let's figure out what is causing this. Kicking myself for not filming me removing the hose going to it, but check it out, guys. It's completely full of rust. So I am not doubting that our problem is going to be in the pump, because look at that. It's got so much buildup, and this water is actually super rusty. Like when it circulates, it's not showing this water. So there's something's wrong here. Something's definitely wrong here. All right, guys, I just got the water pump out. And take a look at this. It is absolutely caked. Alright guys, it's the next day. I just wanted to point out the difference between the new part and the old part. As you can see here, this is our AutoZone remanufactured pump. It's a different type of impeller. Totally fine, I'm sure it'll do the job. But look at the difference. I mean, I already dug out all the caked in stuff, and I think that what this is that silica stuff, or I'm not sure what sort of material it is, but it's like stop leak stuff, or just deposits from using straight water. I mean, look at how much more of a channel there is here than here. Huge difference, and I'm sure that this is either gonna A, fix our issue, or B, improve the issue. Hopefully we don't have a clog somewhere in the block or in the head. I really doubt it's either, but let's cross our fingers and see where this goes. Alright guys, quick side note before I actually put this on. So this pulley is not the pulley that came with the L-Jet system. This is off a later M30. So this pulley has a screw-on type fan clutch. So what we're doing is we're retrofitting the smaller, slightly smaller pulley off of, like, say, an E28 with an M30 to put on here. Luckily, it looks like the belt is just short enough to still tension right. So we're gonna go ahead and try it. If anything, we might need to get a shorter belt. But I mean, it looks like it's gonna work, so let's figure out and see. All right, so the water pump is back in. This is pretty straightforward. Put the belt back on. I do have a tip though. If you're using a smaller, later water pump pulley, get a belt that's slightly smaller. We went one that's in the 10-40 millimeter range. Once you get to that point, you'll know what I'm talking about. If that works. If the original works for you, then it works. They're all different sizes, I'm sure. After so many years, people just use different sizes. So through the fan clutch conversion on, so we used a later style clutch, not the bolted one, and it works fine. It clears just fine. And at this point, we're gonna run it with some radiator flush. So we want to dissolve any deposits that are in the system still. And I have a feeling that although we did the new water pump, if there's a clog in the radiator, it's gonna heat up. If there's a clog anywhere, it's gonna heat up. So we're gonna just drain it real quick, put some fresh water in there because look, we already have some deposits that are coming back, and then run it with this for a couple days. We'll update you, we'll let you know if it's overheating, and we'll take any more necessary steps to try to fix this issue. If you guys have experienced a similar issue to your car, then drop a comment down below on how you fixed it or what you found, because I think that this is a common issue with older cars that have been neglected. This car did sit for a couple years before I picked it up because Kyle, the previous owner, he actually got some parts off of it for his current E12. Awesome E12, by the way. I always talk about it in every E12 video. It makes like 400 horsepower, at least it feels that way. And I think he'll chime in the comments down below if he has time what his car actually has, but it's an awesome M30 build. E12 looks just like this one, except way cooler. Anyway, drop down below, let us know what you did to help resolve your overheating issue, and let's see how this turns out. Honestly, I want this to work. It might not, but either way, we will get it to work. All right, so we did a flush the next day, put the hose in here, took the hoses off the thermostat housing, and took it off the inlet and the outlet. Ran high pressure water through the inlet, and out came a bunch of this. It was like the silica stuff that goes in when you have a leak. This stuff is really bad for your cooling system, guys. It just gets clogged, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. A lot of this stuff came out. This is just a little bit that came out after doing the initial flush. So we're gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more of these flushes using that radiator flush, and hopefully that takes care of the problem because it seems to be clogged up everywhere inside of this thing. All right, we've done a couple flushes at this point, and I just wanted to point out that the old radiator cap is split, and who knows what the tension is like anymore, but it is bad, and we've got a new replacement one here. Hopefully it does its job, and I'm not saying this is the I'm not saying this is the solution for this, but maybe it has something to do with the overheating issue. But last time we ran it last night, and it was still doing it. There's still plenty of junk inside the block and radiator. Still getting too hot, guys. Running out of ideas here. Yes, all the way. All right, guys, so we just went another spin, and it heated up even faster than before, but I'm convinced that we have a clogged radiator because we're gonna take some readings. and show you that this part of the radiator is reading at 114, and just a little below that it's reading at 70, 80 degrees. A little below that reading at 76, 74, 72. So this is telling me that there are cold channels that are just clogged, not getting flow. When one spot is a 30-degree difference in the spot right below it, that tells me that this thing is clogged. Which is no big deal. As far as like, I mean, we did everything we could to flush it. We have a really clean system now. This is gonna be our issue. I'm gonna make a couple phone calls. I have a few friends that might have a radiator. If not, we'll have to get an eBay special because I don't think they make these anymore, but we'll do some searches. Disclaimer too, before I end that part of the clip, it's not running at 115, 120 degrees. I have left it to cool down for a little bit before I got close to it, so don't think it's running that cold and I'm having overheating issues. That's not the case. I did let it cool down. I just wanted to illustrate how the variation of temperatures between just a couple different channels. But anyway, what I did is ordered up the right radiator. That radiator is off an E28 M30 powered car, so it fits between the frame rails on the E12. It just has slightly different hoses, very slightly different hoses, so you have to use hose like this. I actually ordered this one, is an E20, it's actually an E23 hose for an M30 powered car. I'm pretty sure this is going to work with the bend that it has in it. This is an E28 hose, top hose coming from I believe the thermostat housing. While I ordered these parts here, I ordered some ignition parts. So the cap, who knows how old the cap on the car actually is, and the rotor, brand new, just to make sure that we have a healthy spark. Got nice new spark plugs. So we shouldn't have issues with the ignition system from this point on, but that is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to install the new spark plugs, get the new cap and rotor on there, and then move on to the radiator stuff. I'm crossing my fingers. This should be it, and we should have a car that's not going to overheat anymore. Let's do it. All right, so as you can tell, we're under the car. One of the crucial things that has to happen underneath is the adjustment of the automatic transmission line. And actually only one of them has to be adjusted. So if you can see that here, oh, almost tripped on the camera. See that line there? I loosened that one up. Only one of them has to be adjusted. And that equates to this one being turned. So it has to be flipped to 180. As you can see, this line has a bend in it. So in the normal position, it doesn't fit. So once we turn it around, flip it upside down, it'll fit on that fitting there. And just so you guys know, never install these lines dirty like this. This is sort of like a compression type fitting, so it pushes down against this orbital part up against the fitting there on the radiator and makes a seal. If there's dirt here, you're gonna score it and cause a leak. Trust me, I've seen it, I've done it. Just don't do it. Clean it up before you put it on. And it should look like that. Nice and tight, snug, clean it up, tighten it up, and now you can tighten it up the ones in the back. All right, we got the hose routed. Just normal way with a new hose. I did manage to make the E23 hose fit. It doesn't fit great. It has the slightest kink right here. So I think I might have screwed up and got the wrong hose. You know, I should have just gone with the E21. I'm gonna try to trim it, make it work, because it does have extra length on it. I might be able to trim it and then put it up against the thermostat housing and a little better, but it's all hooked up now, guys. I'm gonna fill it with some regular water for now, just to test it, throw the fan on, and then run it. See what happens. Might do an E-fan conversion, guys. What do you think? Might kind of be better, worse. Custom shroud, no custom shroud. What do you think? Drop a comment down below, because I think it would look pretty sick. Especially with it looking pretty clean now. New radiator. I gotta clean up the rest of the engine bay again, but I don't know. I think that'd be really cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the next day and I had to just cut it short yesterday, but guess what? We're golden. We are not overheating anymore, and this is awesome. Check it out. Right in the middle. This is after taking a quick lap around the block and then some, just to make sure it got nice and hot really quick. And there you have it. We finally did it. We had to revamp the whole cooling system basically. There is still some silica junk left in the lines. I took the thermostat housing off just to check it to make sure it wasn't getting clogged. And yeah, there's like gooey residue still. But this is awesome news. This is the greatest thing that has happened since we like made it look good. Now it runs. So as you can hear, the ticking is pretty intense. I suspect one of the rockers or maybe even two might need just a slight adjustment on the eccentric. But other than that, I think from here, we're gonna try to clean these injectors and then maybe replace them. I'm not sure, depends on how clean we can get. It's hard to test those because they have the attached line on them. Let me shut the car off real quick. Not overheating is a good thing. So that's another thing solved for the E12 project, and I am super happy. We ended up revamping a lot. We still have a lot of work to do to make sure that it's on a more permanent level. Like I had to tie the shroud with a little piece of string just to make sure it wouldn't hit the fan. Obviously that's not permanent. There's a lot of things that I have yet to do as far as leakage. Underneath, I can see that there wasn't too much leakage from the oil pan or anything like that. More so it's coming from the transmission. I'm thinking either rear main seal or even the front torque converter seal. The transmission is shifting pretty smoothly, so I'm not thinking that it's damaged or anything. It's just leaking fluid like crazy. So I think the next thing on our list is to swap out the tranny or clean it up and just put new seals on it and new gaskets. My brother and I do want to thank you guys for just sticking with us. Honestly, this upload schedule has been really slow, and I know content hasn't been flowing from us lately, but that's for good reason. We have a new shop, and that's why we've been filming at home. If you didn't catch the first couple E12 uploads, they've all been from my home garage. And that's because we've had a lot of stuff going on as far as moving into the shop, getting things situated with the website. If you haven't actually gone to the website lately, go to superbeamerbros.com, look right here or in the description box below. We're offering parts now. Obviously, we're specializing in the e-chassis, so a lot of e-chassis parts are available. We're gonna keep uploading parts that we offer. So if you wish to support the channel, pick up some merch or pick up some parts. We'd really appreciate it. It's really fast shipping too, so thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Until next time, guys, take care.